It's World Cancer Day today, and it's a day that is meant to raise awareness about cancer. And cancer really is an insidious disease. We still don't know quite a bit from a medical standpoint, but there are things that can be done from the point of view of prevention, detection, and treatment. We're going to talk about all of these aspects on today's program. Let me introduce my guest. Joining me to talk about all of the things that you need to know about cancer is Luke Coutinho, holistic nutrition and lifestyle expert, and author and various other things. But thank you so much, Luke, for taking the time.
Thank you.
I want to start by asking about the prevention of this disease. I want to start by asking about the prevention of this disease because this is something that a lot of people fear. Cancer is something that so many people fear because I guess there is so much that we don't know about it. What does one need to know in terms of nutrition, in terms of lifestyle, to fend off something like this?
So that's true. A lot of people are misinformed and a lot of people don't have the right information. But today, medical science shows us something that gives all of us a lot of hope. But what steals that hope away is when we see and hear every second or third or fifth person talking about someone in their family or themselves having cancer. But what we look at when we take two steps back and we evaluate today, we know that about 5 to 6% of all cancers are highly genetic in nature. That's just 5 to 6%. What about the balance 95%? Lifestyle, purely lifestyle. You see, cancer is a multifactorial disease. If today we want to focus on what can we do to prevent it, there's no one thing that causes it. A lot of people say pesticides in food. A lot of people say pollution. But that alone doesn't cause it because then all of us breathe the same air. We should all have lung cancer. All of us practically eat the same food with pesticides. We should have those cancers. But you see, it's multifactorial. And this is where lifestyle comes in a huge way. We know this because we've been using lifestyle for the longest time to help cancer patients get better in tandem with their medication. You've got to take your medication. You've got to listen to your doctors. But for too long has the world only been taking medication to treat their symptoms without looking at addressing the root causes of what could have possibly led them to the sickness in the first place. So yes, nutrition plays a massive role. While there are foods that today we know can medically and scientifically support our DNA repair, which plays a huge role in the prevention of cancer and in the recovery or putting a cancer into remission, we focus nutrition on a process called angiogenesis, which is your blood vessels' ability to stop growing. In a cancer, it loses control and it starts growing into tumors. We know that there's a massive scientific medical focus on the microbiome, which is your gut, which regulates your hormones, which involves hormonally induced cancers, inflammation, your immune system, and then your stem cell regeneration. Now, a lot of people would think stem cells, do I need to go for a treatment? No, we're talking about foods and nutrition that has the ability to help you regenerate stem cells. So you put all of this stuff, it sounds complicated, but it's very easy when we're eating the right nutrition. Because we've moved into ultra-processed foods and excessive consumption of sugars and colors and chemicals and stuff. You know, most food packets, people can't even understand the labels. So nutrition is one part of it, and you got to eat for your condition. So while we talk about prevention, when you are going through a particular disease, yes, you will eat specially for a colorectal cancer. You will eat specially for a brain cancer, for a breast cancer, which is ER positive, because there are certain foods that you can have and that are not so good for you. So nutrition is a key player, but not alone. You also look at your movement and exercise. Sedentary lifestyles today have been compared. Sorry.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
So
I want to talk, Luke, a little bit more about what you said on nutrition, and I want to get into first how you can prevent it. So you mentioned there are various causes. 95% in fact are multi-causal, and 5% is genetic related, and this is something I think a lot of people do not know. You've often said that you need to make your plate a rainbow. But specifically, if you were to talk about somebody who has cancer, and you were just pointing this out, ideally you would want to have early detection, right? So that is something that I think the focus should be on as well. But if you have early detection, how do you change your lifestyle or change your nutrition?
So there are 4 pillars. Like I said, nutrition is one of them. Number 1 is you got to stop eating white sugar. You got to stop eating white sugar, period. Okay, a lot of science says that you shouldn't, you shouldn't do that. But when you ask people, how does a PET scan work? And this is something I want to put out there because a lot of people get wrong information from people saying, eat what you want when you have cancer. Just eat what you want. How can you eat what you want when you're sick? So the point is, you got to cut out white sugar, or if you can't cut it out, minimize it, because you don't want to be creating more inflammation in your body when you already have an inflammatory condition. Cancer is an inflammatory disease. Then you want to start getting your colors in, because your colors support diversity in the microbiome. So the more colors you can get on your plate, whether it's your tomatoes, it's your bell peppers, it's your spinaches, your green leafy vegetables and nuts and pistachios, different colors, all of that is better for your overall gut health. Then you got to eat, like you said, if you have the disease, you're going through a particular treatment. Maybe you're going through chemo, maybe you're going through radiation, maybe you're going through a hormonal treatment. So there are side effects of all of these treatments which have to be managed by the nutrition that you eat. So if my chemo drug, for example, is depleting me of vitamin E, and it's depleting me of vitamin C and vitamin D, which is needed for me to get better, how does my nutrition put those vitamins back into my body to manage the side effects of my chemo or my radiation or my hormonal treatment that will suppress one hormone, and now I can become a patient of osteoporosis? So how do I make sure that I get those missing nutrients that the medication is depleting back into my system? So that's how you synergize nutrition with that. And it's huge. There are certain people with cancers who cannot have dairy at all. It would be the worst thing for their particular cancer. So I don't want to really generalize because, like I said, you got to eat for various types of cancers. But the basic nutrition would be going back to nature. Your legumes, your lentils, your fruits, your nuts, your seeds, your proteins, and your good quality complex carbohydrates. And don't forget fat, because we're a country that's always trying to lose body weight. So we go on these low fat diets, which in turn makes our immune systems weak. So we got to have the good fats in our system as well.
I've met cancer survivors, I've met people facing the disease, Luke, and the reason it's feared so much is that the treatments that you have to take up, they lay you low. And from a mental standpoint, it's really hard to contend with because you have to push yourself to get yourself back onto your feet. How do you, or what advice would you give to people who are facing this? How do they stay positive?
So, like I said, we spoke about one vertical, which is nutrition. The second would be building up your strength. For that, you first have to have your mental strength in place. Most people lose to the disease because they've already given up in their mind. And it's not their fault. With so much of misinformation out there and people only focusing on the negatives of the disease, they fail to see how many millions of people have actually literally challenged medical science, and they were fourth stage, but today they're living their fifth and sixth and 15th year of life. So you need a very strong mental attitude, and I want to put it out there that what you believe is going to become your outcome. Your mind is your most powerful drug, more powerful than nutrition, more powerful than chemotherapy. While you take all of that stuff, your mind. So we train our minds through meditation, through acceptance. A lot of cancer patients still live in denial. How could this happen to me? No, what did I do wrong? And they move into that whole negative spiral, but it's happened. Now, only when you accept it can you really move forward. What's the next best thing I can do? Get inspired to fight it, to embrace it. So your mental health plays a huge role, and it is recommended that people take help if they're struggling over here. Your meditation practice, your spiritual part, all of these things, having the right family members around you, having the right people, having care, having love. All of these are super powerful drugs as well that help with healing. Your exercise is important because the more movement you have, the more blood circulation you have. Of course, you may not be able to run, but a little bit of movement, if you can, is fantastic for you. And let me add one more point that ties in with the mental toughness and the disease, your sleep. If you are sleep deprived, you are going to suffer. All the healing happens. Medicine works more effectively when the body can be in a state of complete rest, which is why sleep has every connection today with a low immune system, scientifically and medically. So you could be taking the best treatment in the world, you could be working out, you could be eating well, but if you're not sleeping, your immune system is not going to help you to fight this battle. It's not going to help you with prevention either. So that's why I said it's multifactorial, and we need to put all these 4 lifestyle verticals in: nutrition, exercise, sleep, and emotional wellness. This works better when you also pair it with the medication and the treatment that you're taking.
Would you say that the support system is extremely important? And what does a family or close friends need to know in order to support somebody that's going through this?
I think it's very, very important. I see some of my patients heal, and believe me, they're taking medication, but they heal better and faster with the love of family members and friends around. But one thing that we should understand, cancer patients don't want sympathy. They want empathy. So us talking to them, oh no, I wish this didn't happen to you, and then you share your stories about someone else who had cancer. No, we give them empathy. Come on, you can do this. Let's work this out together. I'm here for you. We don't give them false talk. We don't tell them that someone else is suffering. Come on. They want empathy. This is what I've seen. And that's what we can do as humans. You may not have a partner in your life when you have cancer. You may not have your family around, but a good friend or caregivers or people around who can inspire you and empower you. Because when you feel low, you lose that will to fight. Every time you go through the side effects, you think it's going to get worse. What's my life going to be? You need someone to help you, come out of that negative spiral. So support is such an important thing, and it can come in so many beautiful ways. Family members, friends, loved ones. But we should give empathy, and we should try to stop fixing people's solutions. That, oh, you got a stomach pain, do this, X, Y, Z, and you get 10 remedies about it. No, we just got to give patient listening, compassionate kindness. These are things which are very powerful healing drugs.
And this is my last question, Luke. It's something that a lot of people get into. It's the vices, right? And you talk about a number of them, but smoking in particular is something that's known to cause cancer. And people struggle to give it up because once you've started, it becomes really hard to do. I think that the pandemic and being locked down has helped a few people, but would you say that it's absolutely necessary to kick the butt? And is there anything from the wellness standpoint that you can say in terms of how someone can do that?
See, when you have a disease like cancer, okay, there's a lot of toxicity in the body, even coming in through your treatments and everything else. So when you smoke, you're adding more burden to the body. For a body to heal and recover, we all have an intelligence that is designed to heal us. Finally, only our bodies heal us. Your oncologist, your nutritionist, they don't heal you. They do what they need to do, and then the intelligence of your body has to kick in post that surgery, post that chemo, post that organic salad that you ate, and use it to heal you. So when you're burdening the body with more cigarette smoke, with more binge drinking of alcohol, your body doesn't respond the way it's supposed to. So while people say it's getting me through, okay, maybe it is getting you through, but you got to understand that you are compromising your recovery. Now, how do you stop it? People from all around the world come to us with, Luke, do you have a magic food, X, Y, Z? For years, I've tried to figure this out. While hypnotherapy works for some people, they awaken with a shock that, oh, an uncle died of lung cancer who was a smoker, and that tragedy hits them and they stop smoking. What I believe is any vice that you have in life, okay, you've just assigned it too much of value. You've assigned it more value than things like your family or your children or your health or your life. So you have to it's a game of adjusting value. So if I take some value away and put it somewhere else, it moves into the background. Now, this may be very easy to say and difficult to do, but it is the way in life. For example, everyone watching the show, if I give you a Rolex watch, I don't have to motivate you or inspire to look after it. Because it's got value, you look after it. Okay, so when we assign value to our health, our life, meaning, our children, our partners, our parents, that we have a purpose, and for that we need our health. You've assigned value. You get the empowerment to slowly reduce your dependency on vices. But when your vices, when you feed them more by doing more, they strengthen. When you start taking it away by doing it a little bit less, they weaken. And by far, this is possibly the best advice that has worked for most of our patients when they come to us with these problems.
Great. Thank you so much, Luke, for taking the time. This has been an insightful conversation in more ways than one. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.